I'm going to draw something sitting on top of this and running over. And then I'm going to draw something at the same level. So on this level here, across, holding it up. So let's say it goes over to here. Okay, so I've decided I'm going to make a beam. I guess it's a decorative beam. It's going to come up to a point at the top. This is the front side of the beam is going to be here, and the back side of the beam is going to go down, and it's going to connect to the back edge of that. Now, because this distance was 2 units across, I could follow this back to the wall, which is buried under here, and go up. And so the center of that point is going to be right on that line right there. But when I come over here, how do I figure out to draw where am I going to draw the next triangle? I could guess about where that's going to be, and it might be about right there, but it might be a little bit more further over. It's somewhere in this area, but just like I can find the center of the ellipse or the center of the circle, I have a rectangle right here. I'm going to use this cross the diagonals technique to find the center, and then I just run a straight line up through that center point. It's going to be a little bit closer to the left side than the right side, and that's going to give me that point. It's probably right there. Okay, I've crossed the diagonals. I've got the center point. Now I'm going to run a vertical line up through there, and I've got so many lines running on here. I don't feel like I need to measure twice all the time. I'm just going to very carefully check the edge of my ruler compared to this edge. Eyeing that out. So I'm pulling this line up. Actually, this is a really, really important technique. Dividing a rectangle or a square and then projecting the center across. This is going to be something that's going to be used in the future. So this is something you need to remember. Dividing the rectangle, finding the center of the rectangle by crossing your diagonals. Where they meet is the center. You're either going to run a line from where they meet off to the vanishing point, or it might be a horizontal line that you send through it if it's sitting horizontally, or it might be a vertical line that you send through it if it's sitting on a vertical. You know, after I do this one, we'll practice on this one. And I've got that little triangle peak drawn on there. It's not going to be very useful architecturally to have a triangle peak there. It wouldn't be very strong to hold anything. Like I couldn't put a beam on top of there. But I'm imagining we could cut, if we wanted to put a beam running across here or something, we could notch down into it, something like that. Kind of put a space for a beam. And then the beam could run sort of forward through there. I just want to point out, I don't say this much in my classes. I know Lori Steinhorst tells students to think about this. You want to understand what's happening at the back of the form, even if you can't see it, and perspective helps you. If you understand how to use perspective like this, then you know where the back corners of things are. Yeah, like this top plane here, if I wanted to draw this top plane here, it would be a horizontal through here. It actually should hit right there. So I maybe have a little something a little bit off right there, but that's the back edge of this box down to there. All right, I'm going to just divide this. This technique I showed here is really important, so I'm going to divide this. I'm going to use the same technique. So I'm going to cross diagonals. So this point is actually a measurement point in a way, because I've basically divided the height in half, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm running a line out to my vanishing point. So I've divided all of these faces in half now with that line. And now I'm going to run a vertical line through here. Be really careful, I'm going to make it vertical, and that's going to actually, that would divide this face in half, this way. But I could also do the corner technique across here to do that. Okay, so let's see. That distance I'm measuring from the front vertical to the middle vertical is there. And you see how much bigger it is than this one to the back vertical. The back vertical is right there, right behind there. So this is bigger than that. So if I wanted to repeat this motif up here of this sitting triangle block or triangle prism up here, then I could extend this up, actually to any height that I wanted to. Why don't we do that? I'm gonna extend this up, but not very high, and then I'm gonna draw an angle and an angle like that. It's gonna put a little bump on the top of the box. Okay, so I'm going to extend this out over here, and how am I going to know where to stop? I'm going to need to know where the half point of this is. I can just extend this where this diagonal crosses this vertical. I can just extend this line out. I just want to point out that I'm being really careful to make sure that the edge of the ruler is square to this line here. And when I'm drawing these vertical lines on here now, I am letting I think you can see this, I'm letting the edge of this catch on the paper, and I'm hoping that this is square enough. It's probably not perfect. Okay, so I kind of have this little ping pong table top here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to run a diagonal from here to here, and then there to there. I'm going to have like a little, almost like a little tent shaped thing.